Howdy. This is just a quick little solo episode today. Junior is not available for recording today. He's a very busy man, very booked up with a lot of important, career opportunities today. So it's a bit of a solo one. For anyone tuning in for the first time, this is clearly not a very active channel. Just starting out here, so feel free to drop a sub and a like and a bell and all that good shit, my dude. I was having a chat with my girlfriend recently about the whole concept of high school, and I came to a sudden epiphany, a realization that high school is fucking pointless. And that's a controversial thing to say, because a lot of people will argue all sorts of reasons why high school is the most important thing and it's going to affect your life for the rest of your life, and holy shit. But I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I just think, what a fucking waste of my time that shit was. The stuff I did, and the stuff they wanted me to do, and the stuff I wanted to do, at the end of the day, I feel like what I wanted to do would have been far more productive. And, you can jump to the conclusion and say, oh, that's because you were a dumbass, you didn't have any ambitions, you went to a shitty school, you blah, 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 whatever. High school, at the end of the day, is basically a government-funded babysitting program for teenagers, because teenagers can't admit that they still need babysitting. But anybody who's over the age of 25 will tell you fucking teenagers need babysitting more so than any other aged human version out there. Look at it this way, okay? When you go to primary school, I don't know what the term is in the US or Europe or wherever else in the world. Primary school is where you go to school between the age of 5 and 10 in New Zealand, okay? You learn these things, and you might think of primary school or whatever you call it, that first stage of schooling is pretty babysitting-ish, but it's not. You're learning the real shit there. You're learning ABCs, but ABCs is the code which we use to visually communicate our language. You're learning the basics of maths, probably by far the most important, useful, and utilized on a daily basis by the most people bit of maths. You're learning basics like sharing, putting up with other human beings, being in the same space as males and females, both genders of which you don't know. You're learning to deal with the idea that there are people that you don't personally know that aren't part of your family that are now in charge of what you can do and say and get away with and can't. The more you think about it, primary school and even kindergarten are the most important bits of education you'll ever fucking have. High school is where it starts to sort of grey out. If you want to be a scientist, if you want to be, a philosopher, as if anybody, tell me a philosopher that you know of today that is like a highly paid philosopher. I don't know. Not many. But I can tell you what I think you should be learning at high school. As a person who's now on their way to 30, I'm 26 only just, but in my mind that's on the way to 30, it probably is. The things you need to be learning at high school is a sense of self-esteem, an ability to consciously have some charisma, an understanding of how the economy works and what your place will be in it, most likely as a person who is just a paid employee who makes somewhere between minimum wage and a half, what your responsibilities are in terms of tax, insuring your vehicle in case you have a car accident, which you probably will before you've even get 2 years out of high school, because that's when most people crash, because people are fucking idiots when they leave high school. Anyway, there are a lot of things that you need to know about the world that you now are if you're a high school student and you think you're on top of the world because you're learning about, peaks and troughs and the realm of physics, and, you're doing your vectors and your whatever, I don't know. There's some fucking hard lessons out there that you're about to learn that have nothing to do with the bullshit teachers that patting you on the back for writing down on paper. It's a rough world. And it can be a seriously easy and fun world to live in if you know some basic rules. And those teachers are not teaching you that shit. Well, maybe some of them are to a very select few of you off fucking time. But the stuff you need to be knowing for the next few years is not being told to you because they're shoving down your throat stuff that's relevant to getting your university entrance. And your university stuff is going to be a grind, bro. Have you ever gone for a 99 on RuneScape? It's going to be a grind. And you're going to hate it. And you're going to starve yourself. And you're going to stress out. And you're going to have anxiety attacks and nightmares. And you're going to lose relationships over getting exams in on time. And at the end of it all, if you're a normal person from the middle class who's learning a normal subject, you're probably not going to make too much of a difference to your life. You're going to spend the rest of your time paying off your loans that you took to get educated because your parents wanted to, because they're from the fucking 60s and they think the shit still matters. And you're going to sit around one day making fucking audio recordings of how high school's pointless. Do you want to end up like that? No. I don't know. I just think society's a little bit twisted in terms of the amount of adults out there that know the important stuff that we should be communicating to kids. And I guess adults, parents, should be communicating this stuff to their kids. But a lot of the time they don't. My parents didn't tell me fuck all about tax. Or, saving up every week for the inevitable upcoming cavities you're going to have in your teeth. Or paying insurance on your car, full cover, so that if you hit somebody else, you still get your vehicle. That hasn't happened to me, but I know people that have had it happen. And it's like, why didn't I think about that before I was 25? I should know that $25 a week is a good investment on my car that I saved up and bought, because I don't want to crash into somebody on accident. Mate, it can happen in a second. And then you go, oh, well, what now? I lost my car. And they go, well, it's gone. And you go, well, I haven't even finished paying it off yet. And they go, well, fuck you. Remember them lessons you learnt about acute angles in high school? And you're like, so I'm fucked then. And that is it. You're fucked. And there's 600,000 things like that coming your way. Don't worry about that scientific calculator, kid. Get your fucking insurance papers out. Start learning about tax. That's all I'm saying. High school is basically, I'll give you a story. In my high school years, I signed up for science. I didn't go to the flashiest high school of all time. Haha, of course not. But we spent, I think it was probably about 3 weeks, we spent studying in depth, in unnecessary detail, I don't know what you'd say, the scientific ramifications of caterpillars eating leaves in certain patterns. I don't know who the fuck thought that was going to be relevant to my life. I don't know who the fuck thought that was going to be relevant to anybody else's life. I don't know if the teacher even gave a shit about that, if it's just the way it comes down the tube. Can you think of anything less important, less useful in daily life, less useful in the long run for anybody learning? Can we talk about theoretical physics if you have to get technical and really slam down the book of science on us? Can we get there? Don't fuck me around with this shit. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I realize there's a lot of people who have achieved like educational achievements, academic achievements is what I mean. People who have gone and got degrees, impressive degrees, people who have gone and got this and that and whatever, and they're walking around going, well, I actually am, I'm this and I'm that. But there's a disconnect between being qualified for a job and getting paid $150,000 a year to do that job. I know a shit ton of people who have that are qualified, quotation marks, in these, they've got the degree and they've got the this and the that and the blah blah blah. But there's just nobody I can point to who I can say, oh yeah, old Jimbo Bob, he's studied those 3 different degrees and all those irrelevant 3 things that aren't relevant to each other at all, and now he's got $250,000 a year he gets paid to whatever. There'll be people out there like that, I'm not saying that, but I don't fucking know a single person who's out there going, well, I get paid $250,000 a year because of my degree, which just opened the door to my job. And I got my degree because of how hard I studied in high school, which laid the foundations for the degree. That's how high schoolers think the world works. And nobody that I'm seeing is telling them that it's a fucking load of shit. That I tell you what, I know some people making some big money. I know people making $10,000 a week. I know people making $250,000 a year. I know people that are 25 and are retired. And they did not adhere to the rules and suck dick and sit in class and pay attention in high school. They were the kids who were smoking ciggies in the bathroom. They were the kids who were telling teachers to fuck off. And they were the kids who started wheeling and dealing crazy shit, selling Game Boys in high school. Entrepreneurial spirit. Kids who broke the system. Kids who were like, this is a load of shit. I can already see that. I'm 16. I'm checking out. I'm finding something better to do with my time. Unfortunately, I can't say exactly that I'm one of them. But the world is not as it seems from high school. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And it's not something I'm passionate about. It's just fun to talk about, all right? And if you disagree with what I'm saying, then fair enough. But also have fun teaching your social studies class tomorrow. Bro. Just kidding. All right. Later.